Alright, I'm getting ready to do the Christmas lights, and I've got some extra tools that I've acquired over the years to help me do this. I've got my knee pads, I've got this extension for the ladder that helps me get over the rain gutters, but also keeps me off of the wall so that I can reach up and put the lights underneath the flashing there. So I'm gonna try to do this faster than previous years. I've got all the lights pre-set up with their hooks. There's some magnets that I've got to use along the gutters where I have the leaf guards. So those I have to put on every year. Everything else is pre-done, and it either fits underneath the flashing going down or on top of the rain gutters going down. So this either goes underneath the flashing or that goes over the top of the rain gutter. And so we'll see that. I got to take this off and put this on to the extension ladder. So get those off. And then this goes on here like this. And attaches back down. There. And there, right underneath the ladder step there. So that's going to help me later. I've also got this for creating a platform, especially like here where I have some uneven space. I can put this down and make this even. So that I can get up to the upper floor. It is quite a bit of a, it's pretty sturdy, even though it is an angle with the ladder on it, it works just fine. Alright, I'm heading around the side of the house. This is the side with the chickens and some trees. And so this is the sketchiest part, but I like to do it from up here as much as I can, because otherwise I got to deal with the chickens and those trees. I got to get around those trees and it's a pain. I'm just going to stage the lights, and then I'll go down and start putting them under the flashing, and I'll just be able to go down there and then reach over the edge carefully. All right, before I go around on the side here, I do need to get a few of these set up. So I usually start this one here, and then let me get that out of there so it doesn't get snow and water in it. And then I usually get a couple under the flashing here. And I just need to get enough of these in there that I don't need to come all the way down to the edge of this. I'll just leave that one there. Okay, that should be enough room for me to curl up towards the edge there and then start feeding the other ones underneath. Now I'm gonna start adding more of these to here, and when I can, I'll turn around and lay down so it's even less kind of sketchy here. I can use my, actually, just to sit on my side here. Get enough contact with the roof that I'm steady, and then slowly inch my way back up here. Stick these underneath, and it should go pretty well. Alright, I'm trying to get this part done because as the daylight fades, this one gets a little bit darker, and then I'm going to switch to the upper roof line and do that before I switch back to the bottom where I can use a ladder and stuff if I need to. Alright, I gotta make sure I'm keeping that taut. And then I'll just go up to the apex here and then start coming back down, keeping myself away from the ledge here. But these just slide right underneath. And later on I'll show you a tool I use to pull these down, a long pole that has an attachment on it, and I can just grab onto this thing here and yank them out of the flashing. And that works pretty well to take down. It's pretty fast. All right, it's going pretty good so far. So I'll just keep doing this and then get back to you when I have more to show. All right, I took a short break when I got to the apex there because down here where I don't have the clips, I'm gonna need these magnetic ones, and it's easier to get them on when it's not so tight. So I'll stick these on and then I'll go finish that, and then those will just kind of sit on top of that white leaf stuff, a leaf guard. All right, so just to put these on, you just kind of go like this and stick with there and there, and because it'll only get pressure downwards anyway. All right, so now I just need to do a bunch more of these before I can get started again on putting those under the flashing. One other note on these magnets, make sure you test especially any painted metal first to make sure that the magnet's going to be strong enough to hold these. I thought I'd be able to use it a few other places and was not able to, so luckily I didn't order too many of them. I just got enough to do this part and one other small part that it didn't work for. So I was short one magnet, which either means I'm short a clip or short a magnet. I'll put the magnet on and I'll switch it out for a clip later if I need to, because I can use that ladder that goes up over the lip here, over the rain gutter if I have to. It gets a little sketchy there. I might just do it from the roof, but going back to the apex now to put these in, and then when I get down here, all I have to do is set those magnets on the edge of the leaf barrier, so that's kind of nice. All right, so this is kind of the hardest place right here, is right over on this end before I get to the magnets, but I just have one more. Got it caught up over here though on this thing. Oh, and I found the other magnet. It was attached to one of the other magnets, so I didn't actually lose it. I didn't lose any, so that's good. Even though I had extra. Just trying to be as safe as possible. Just place them on there. To the other side here. Oh, it looks like I lost one somehow. Luckily I have my spare here. All right, well, I'll just keep going around until I get to the gutter. All right, now I'm at the edge, and so I just start slipping that over the top of the gutter, and I could do that until I get to there. Then I have some more flashing to do, but should be pretty straightforward. I'm gonna grab my second set and connect it to this, just so that I don't have to be hanging over the edge while I do that. So I'll get that connected, and then what I might do, just because of the kind of the sun and the visibility, I might start on this top part, because I want to definitely get the top part before sunset, because then I'll have like the street lights and everything, and I can use my ladder to go around if I have to and not be up on the roof. If only everything was as easy as this part. I can just stand and slip them under, but it's only going to last a tiny bit. And then I gotta get up on a ladder to get up there, or I gotta climb up on top of here, which I don't know which I'm gonna do. Last year I had somebody help holding the ladder, but we'll see. Might try going up there, see how it feels, because that's typically faster. It is pretty high up, and if I fall off, I fall all the way down. And I think the angle is a lot steeper. Maybe not. No, it's not steeper than that I just did. So maybe it's fine. We'll find out. But if not, what I do is I use that stand there, and then I use the ladder to kind of go up here, and then I push it up there. So I don't know if I can get high enough up here. Might not be too bad to just go up there and do it. My brother fell off the roof one year, so I am a little scared at what happened with him. Luckily, he was semi-okay. He had some minor issues, but nothing, well, I don't think it was anything too major. Didn't make it sound like it was too bad. Broken ankle maybe, or I don't know if he did anything to his back. But I definitely don't want any more back problems, so that's what makes me second guess it. This one's a little strange. Let's see. Untwist that a little bit. All right. Now if I can get this up high enough to where I feel safe going up there, then I gotta get this, all the lights up there too. That's the problem, is I've already started putting it in. We'll see. I might want to show you the ladder anyway. Alright, before I get out the ladder, I'm just going to try to get some of these with this thing. I've got to get that out so I get a little more stability there. So they have these adjustable feet, and then the back feet are adjustable. So obviously that is angled, but for this one part where I have the weird roof, I kind of need to just deal with it. All right, I might need to go up, even up to here. Readjust this. I need to get this down now. Kind of get a little bit as close to level as possible. And then I need to put this foot down. There we go. All right. That seems stable enough. Looks like I need to do some painting up here as well. Oh man, I need to just replace that, I think. After this winter, maybe I'll replace that. Okay, I'm gonna have to move this down, and that's where I'll probably have to get out the ladder at this point. All right, let's see how low we can go on this, and I'll connect back when I have the ladder up. Okay, I was not being smart. This is how I should have been doing it. This is how I did it last year. Much easier to get up and get these few before I can transition to the ladder. So I can get at least one more, maybe two more here. One more maybe. But it would have been easier to do these other ones if I had done it this way. So now I'll just move this down and over and then set up the ladder right here and be able to reach over and get the rest. All right, this is a little closer to the edge than I'd like, but it's for this short part. And then I can get back to the regular ground there, and it'll be easier. This ladder's a little off kilter, but I only have to do this for a short time, and it's pretty caught up in that ledge there, so it should be okay as long as I'm fast and careful. There we go. This is the part that I always forget, is that I've got to get it around the ladder. That's okay. I can go far enough by pulling it over the top and then go back under and around it. But something to think about next time is to make sure that the ladder's not in the way. Okay, I think that is far enough. It will allow me to get to the flat part and set my ladder up and then reach over, which is going to be much safer than at this angle here with it wedged in. So I'll just go real slow back down to my platform. Okay. All right, well, I didn't die, so that's good. All right, here we go. Last year I continued to use that board and I put it this way, but like at least right here I can't use it. I may choose to use it as I get further away, but I've got this ledge here as well, and I think for that ledge I do go up on top to get that, like once I get to the apex. Then I come down the other side. So anyway, you can see how that extra attachment, even though it's meant for grabbing onto the roof, helps in this situation to keep me away from the wall so that I can get those lights up. And I'll just continue to go up until I reach the apex. All right, I was able to get over the ledge with the extension here, so I might not be able to get to the very, very end, which I'll have to go up there, but I'll at least get to get a bunch of it before I have to go down with the ladder and lose some of that extension out over the ledge. All right, it's a little later. You can see it's not clean out there. A little later than I wanted it to be when I finished the top, and that's because if you go over here, I still need to wrap up the bottom, but I started with the wrong end and I got pretty much right to there. I didn't get all the way done. When I noticed I had to move some of the little holders around, the Christmas light holders, I realized I must have made a mistake because it was all set up from last year, and I realized I plug in over there, I don't plug in over there. But you can see the ladder max has been invaluable. It's one of the best purchases I've ever made. Also this, I think it's like a halo. I used it again right here to kind of grab right here where I couldn't reach over from the ladder anymore, because this is as low as it goes. But then look at that beautiful sunset. Kind of makes it all worth it. And then if I go over here, more maintenance needs to be done next summer. All right, here's where I have my extension cord holder. It's going to plug into this. So I'll just loop it over, put it under here, plug in. I just kind of stick those underneath there to get them out of the way. But it looks nice. I hope it all works when I turn it on, because that's always fun, troubleshooting the lights if there are issues. All right, well, top is done, and now I'll work on the bottom. The bottom's a lot easier. I just use the ladder and go around. For this first part where the roof's not as steep, I usually just do what I did earlier and continue to go around the gutter. I'll do it over here too, so I might even do that all the way around until I get to that tall side, and then I usually use the ladder for that because it's easier to move the ladder out. All right, so just finish this up real quick. And, oh wait, no, I need to add the other line is what I was gonna do before I move on. All right, this is bottom number 2. So go ahead and plug it in here, and then I can unspool it later. Set that there. Get these plugged up together. All right. And now I can start going around the edge here. Okay, since the video is about to go dark, I wanted to show a couple of things. The first is how I use this fiberglass fish rod. I bent this a little bit out to make it easier to catch the things and pull them off. And then I've taped it using some gaffer's tape, which I love gaffer's tape because it doesn't leave a residue on most things. It doesn't stick to everything, but it's usually used for like sticking to carpet, so it doesn't leave residue on carpet, but I like it for things like this, so I don't get residue on this if I ever take it off of this thing. And this is just a long window washing pole, and so I use this on the sides of my house. I'm just going to use it right here to show you, but on the sides of my house where I have a really high roof line, so I don't have to kind of inch along the side like I did when I was putting these up. This is a little bit faster. I can just reach up here and I can grab the hooked part of this and then pull that out. See, and then I can just go to the next one and grab the hooked part and yank that down. And so now I can just use this to remove those along the high parts of my roof where it's under the flashing. Now for these, right, I'm gonna have to get up there either using the ladder. This is the other thing I wanted to show you. The ladder max here, this is its intended purpose for the stabilizer. I mean, yes, using it against the wall to kind of get back so you don't have to reach back up and around is nice. But wherever you have a rain gutter, this is nice because it keeps you off of the rain gutter. Yes, the rain gutters are typically sturdy enough to hold the ladder, but I'm kind of big, and this is just a lot stabler than if I had this skinny ladder up against here. And I'd have to try and put the ladder where these bolts are to give it some more stability, and I might scratch up where this rain gutter's been painted here. It used to be a dark color, and my wife wanted it to be a lighter color, so we had it painted. All right, yeah, so I can just go put those back in now, and this is what I'll use maybe later to remove these. This is flat enough that I usually just get up here and pull these off, but over there where it gets a little bit steeper, I don't like to be close to the edge like that, and so I'll just use the ladder over there to pull those out. And anywhere where it's attached to the flashing, I'll use the fish rod with the hook to just extract those. All right, it might be hard to see, but now you can see how that ladder max works over the rain gutter there. So I'm just going to go around here, and then I'll use the ladder to go up to the top of this ridge and down to that rain spout is about as far as I can go in the back of the house. And then I'll be done and we can test them out. This will be really hard to see, but I lucked out and it looks like I even got the ladder underneath the top of the lights. So now I just need to stick these on here. Over there I just kind of sat out on the edge and did it, but this gets a little too steep for that. At least this is easier, I think. All right, here's the results of the effort. If it was around the side of the house, at least there on the top there, that would be hard to do. Much faster this year than last year, and way faster than the first year, because I had to put my wife wanted a specific pattern, and so I had to buy a bunch of strands that weren't in the pattern and change light bulbs, and some of them were specific light bulbs that were a pain because you have to reverse the polarity. It was a mess, and then getting all the hooks on it. Now that all that's done and I have the right tools, it's much easier. Now I just got to clean up and put things away.